Our guest tonight is Michael Tsarion. You can check out his website at michaeltsarion.com. That's Tsarion.com. And Michael, just before the break, you were talking, you had mentioned about consciousness and how important that plays a role. You know, I've always picked up on the fact that these people, these elite that are ruling the world are actually working their way backwards in the Bible. They seem to want to return to the Garden of Eden and eat of the second tree, the tree of life, eternal life, become gods themselves. We've got a different agenda, I believe. But at 2012, there's becoming a change. That's not the climax, though, is it? Is it the beginning for us to create our own reality, either individually or collectively?
Well, I don't know. It depends. Every point in time is really part of a sequence and a cycle. Where we're at right now, man has choice. I don't know about after 2012 whether he'll have choice. What I do is I try to diagnose man as he is, as he has been. And I don't see a lot of, good things. I see that man has been running away. And as I said, don't forget it's partly his own desires, but it is also exacerbated by the school system and the control matrix that exists. So it's man is not entirely, guilty, but he certainly is responsible. And therefore he needs to, not run away from his emotions. But the man right now, as I said before the break, he may inherit this cyber utopia. You see, this is the danger. Because there are, in fact, metaphysical connections between the silicon and the carbon, between the technological and, the organic. And it's not that I'm even against technology. I'm not a Luddite, but the fact is I am against technology in the wrong hands, meaning the individuals that rule this world are psychopathic. What they do is psychopathic. They are people who have megalomania. They are pathological, you see. And so we have given the right rulership of the world to these state controllers. And therefore, these people are insane. These are insane, toxic individuals who haven't dealt with their emotions. And so, of course, and it's out of that pathology that gives these people the idea that man himself is broken. As I said, they're not coming from a holistic tradition in which the opposite is true. They, from their own pathology, think of man as something broken, something to be controlled, something to be remotely controlled. And many of them do this with great glee. Others do it with some sort of sense of philanthropy and humanism. You see, there's many different degrees in all of this. There are some people who look at man as a person who needs to inhabit a future dark age for whatever reason. And there's many voices out there who believe that that's what we're heading to. We're heading to literally another dark age, the death of the middle class. And that's very true. And I study that and look into that. Then there's another group, I think, who says that, no, man has already left a dark age. What he needs to do now is move towards some sort of glowing global village type situation, of more of a sort of an enlightened utopia. But they're still elites. But I believe they're split down the middle between people who believe that we should inherit another dark age that will keep people under control. We need more wars, you see, we need more pestilence to wipe out the human race and to keep them under control. And then we have this other sort of body of more of the sort of enlightening Fabian humanitarian schools, quote unquote, that believe, man has been dumbed down, but given the right kind of training and the right kind of midwifery, and once he sees the light, so to speak, then he'll live in this brotherhood of man type situation. He'll come together. He'll be the perfectly secure inhabitant of a perfectly secure, society, sort of a big brother setup. And that's for man's good. And see, you got to see that through some of these globalist people's champions, and through some of these globalist type orgs, they're very capable of putting out the propaganda that makes people, especially a traumatized population, buy into that no end. Because you can only shake some people up enough. You can shake some nations and communities up enough with wars, with rumors of wars, with gangland activity, with fraud, you see, and with all the other, and even climate problems. You can create a barrage of so much trauma that, in fact, when the promise comes down from some of these suspicious types who work for these Fabian networks, you see, and they're promising all sorts of securities, and they're promising all sorts of global utopias, my thought is, you see, that again, we'll want that. The man who is not in his center, who's not able to think rationally, who's confused by all of this disseminated information, and it's so sophisticated, they put millions of dollars into it, you see, that creature may, in fact, give up his humanity. Well, we've sold everything else, haven't we, for what we've bought in the world today. And the last thing left is man's own humanity. This is what is truly evil about this, coming age in which we go. Of course, as Max said, there could be a retaliation from that. Perhaps there is also something in the human psyche that says things have to get so bad, not just shaken up where we are right now, but really woken up to the fact that when when times at the darkest, hey, there could be some other kind of impulse from within us that then says no more. Professor Tolkien seemed to insist upon this. Other people like C.S. Lewis have also said that this is in man. He will not totally be in servitude. So, yeah, we're coming to a point of critical mass, and I believe that 2012 is as good a time as any, given the kinds of alignments that are happening then. Just in the last month, for instance, the planet Pluto has entered into the sign of Capricorn, which I believe is a huge milestone in this. People have to really understand what that means and what the planet Pluto symbolizes, because it certainly symbolizes a lot of revelation, a lot of masks coming down, a lot of new discoveries about man, his origins, and his destiny. So, yes, times are black ahead, but also we're not being given the tools to do something about it. Those tools were not really in our hands. They weren't in the public hands many decades ago. But now with the Internet, with certain information that's being disseminated, and with future discoveries. This is why I urge people to check out your work, my work, all the websites that we've got, because we post those new discoveries, be they in archaeology, be they in psychology, be they in biology. People need to be up to speed on this because, yes, although times ahead can be gloomy, we're actually not being given some of the super weaponry ourselves that can help turn the light that these, creatures of the Luciferians claim they love light, right? Well, now's the time to be turning the light back on them. This is the particular age where we're getting the opportunity to do that. Our forefathers did not have the power, the skill, or the ability to do that. We do.
Yes, indeed. Max, we've got about a minute and a half left. Do you want to take the next question?
I've been saying to people that the ritualistic nature, the way they do everything, I believe that they use us to channel the energy that they want to create this reality, control this world, like through all the sacred symbolism that they put everywhere. Like the symbolism is just a wash. Everywhere you go, the symbolism is right out there in your face, and through the geometry they put in the streets. Like they use us to actually create the type of energy they want to create this world. What do you
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, well, I've been seeing this everywhere. It's very, very hard to get people to wake up to this sort of thing, and it's going on everywhere. It really, really is. But I think the battle of energy, I think the battle of Armageddon that everybody is waiting for is happening right now. I think it's a battle of energy that's taking place on a higher realm, and that people need to wake up to this.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Not too much research has been done on how crowds, how masses, how thinking, how negative emotions is actually a form of energy, and how that energy can flow into the meridians of the Earth. I've talked about this in so many programs that I've done about the synchronic lines and the axiotonal lines and the ley lines and the dragon paths of the Earth, that the Earth is a battery, and that men living on it are leaking energy, and that energy is going somewhere, right from your house, right from watching the TV, right from the domestic sphere. We are bleeding off, various forms of energy, both positive and negative. And these individuals have the know-all, and they have even the technology to be able to manipulate and use that particular discharge of negative, what we would call negative energy, fear-based energy. They have the power to do that.
Well, when we come back, Michael, let's talk about how they control the masses in a more specific way. Everyone, it's getting really hot. Hang on.